Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, March 7, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a reverse aging health call and all the rest tonight after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about the earth changes in the deluge. I'm going to talk about the time amount that we're going to have between now and when we're in full swing, amongst other things. Attachment to our past and future is what creates the greatest amount of stress in our lives. And since this moment is the only thing that is real, choose to be constantly celebrating what is happening now. If you're experiencing a problem, celebrate it. That problem will soon be a deep, eternal, loving experience in disguise. Life is actually not about overcoming your problems and karma. It is a celebration of all opposites until there is equanimity in the mind and complete balance of emotions, which leads us into total freedom of consciousness. How could the mind know light without shadow? Or depth without shallowness? The mind exists in a state of perpetual ebb and flow of the tides. Celebration of this play is what makes you a master of your life. Whatever it is that's happening in your life right now, there is some way you can celebrate it. There's always another door opening where one has closed. Now, is that moment that is filled with life's amazing qualities? Just realizing this little secret will assist you greatly in choosing to see the miraculous instead of the mundane wherever you go. As we go through our days, pause regularly to remember this simple truth. We are the eternal beings who will never die. We are souls in a body who will only change form. We will be reborn again if we want to or not. We have enough awareness, we can choose to master this existence and then experience anything we want to. The infinite quality of our own being is obvious and very real. It is just like the sun's always shining, always bright, super warm. And yet the sun is a grand understatement to describe the brilliance of who we really are. And when you discover the true enormity inside yourself, everything will change, and the outer world will no longer impact you in a negative, fearful way. This universe will welcome you to explore this limitless divine self everywhere you go on its playground. Now, all of us go through this, we get caught up in things. You might want to try this. It worked very well for the next 7 days. Anytime you start getting stressed out about something, practice celebrating what is. Simply say to yourself, I choose to celebrate existence right now. When all this stuff comes in, right, whatever it may be, starts to stress you out, stop immediately and say to yourself, I choose to celebrate existence right now. Life is just, it's too good to not make this choice, even if you do not understand why. Look for the deep eternal love that is hidden behind this so-called problem and celebrate it. is an opportunity for growth. It is your chance to quiet your mind and realize your infinite nature. Remind yourself, when you notice stress arising inside, that you are an infinite being that will not die. Notice what happens. Play with this assignment. Welcome all that life challenges you. Your job is to intimately know yourself as that which is permanent and can never be harmed, hurt, or changed. Most of us are guarded. You ever come across people, maybe yourself or others, you can tell that they're guarded. Usually it's because we have been tempered, so to speak, with experiences in this life that motivate us to be guarded. And, the creative process is a process of surrender, not control, Julie Cameron. So we create all these, you can call them walls, shields, whatever, in order to survive this life, from childhood all the way through. Now, they were necessary at that time to protect us and keep us safe. Yet, as we move into adulthood, if these barriers are still up, they are blocking us from feeling love, compassion, and intimacy with others. These walls are also stopping us from manifesting true financial freedom, abundance, and even profound health into our lives. When you feel stuck in your relationships with others, whatever it may be, money or yourself in any way, it's because your brilliant light is still hiding behind one of these old, heavy, unnecessary shields. Now, one might ask, aren't there some situations where it's good to protect yourself? And it all depends on how spiritually advanced you are and what lessons you're still needing to learn. When you know you are an infinite being that will never, ever die, then what is there to defend? That which is real cannot be harmed, so why protect it? Yet, if you're still healing wounds inside the ego and creating an identity that needs certain boundaries, then it will feel blatantly obvious there is something that needs protection. You may need to be as strong as a mountain to stand up to your rights, for your rights, in order to one day let them go. Yet 99.999% of the time, you are not surrounded by angry, hungry tigers, and this defense mechanism is just an old, unconscious habit blocking you from total liberation. Now, the need to defend ourselves is what actually makes our ego appear real. And the ego, however, is like your shadow. Right? You imagine a bunch of people, as I've said before, running around trying to protect their shadows. That would be a sight. And when we want to become a superconscious, awakened spiritual being, we just learn, don't need to protect the ego. Any type of defending that we do is just coming from a place of fear, insecurity, and weakness. Defenselessness is about doing no harm on any level to any being. It is truly living from a place of peace with all beings, and will only manifest peaceful situations. Whenever we get upset or triggered by others, here's a real simple technique. Become like a flute that is hollow and light, and allow your breath to flow through you and your triggered feelings. Who knows? Their negative words may start to sound like music to your new ears. Even if you're in a long-term relationship and have been hearing sour notes for years, simply allow that song to play on through. Breathe into it, through it. Let your body feel it, and eventually release it. I invite you to make the choice right now to never protect or defend your ego. Just ask, whom am I defending? What shadow self is here, and is this aspect real or imaginary? And the more we investigate what needs to be defended, the more we realize these are only small, helpless, powerless voices from our past. Maybe the same voice your parents or siblings had. If you need to, then feel this need to defend these shadow parts and then let it go. The greater your defense is, the more suffering enters your body, and you'll soon be forced to let go because you are playing into that which is not real. This universe will not let you buy into this defensive energy for very long because the imaginary always moves to the real. It's easier to see the deeper lessons that this life is teaching us once we become an unobstructed channel of awareness. The more we can let down our defenses, the more receptive we can become to the abundance and divine power all around us and inside of us. The truth is that there is really no reason to be guarded at all. Who you truly are can never be hurt by the outer world. It is only the ego self that believes it can be harmed, hurt, and destroyed. The timeless infinite consciousness that we are cannot be touched by anyone or anything ever. As an eternal radiant being, we are impervious to attacks from the outer world. This infinite beingness has never been harmed by vicious words or energy. All negative energy passes right through without touching the beauty of our timeless consciousness. As we awaken more and more and more to this realization, we will automatically notice the silliness and usefulness of holding any walls up with anyone. These walls block the love from flowing between you. Once you see this, you will naturally take these walls down and let the brilliant light of your infinite nature shine through. Because when you look around, remember, it's always our perception being controlled by the ego mind. And with me even talking about it, it means we're halfway there. To even acknowledge it is phenomenal for us to know. See, one would probably look at it from the standpoint, well, look at all this stuff going on in the world. We should be paying attention to this. And this has been an ongoing distraction for us because we are the root of complete change on this planet. See? And what I mean by that is that when we come to know who and what we are, we realize that we don't need to defend anything. We are in peace, continual, and we do no harm to ourselves or anything or anyone ever. That's huge. That transforms the planet, transforms the civilization. You came across across a group of people like that, what do you think? What do you feel how you would be with a group of people like that? Where they have no concern about this stuff. They know that it's what they feel within them and the gods that they are, on how they can direct everything and have it flow to them and not, to them, for them, and not away from them. See, it's not really a rocket science thing. You go, okay, so the ego stops me from experiencing abundant life. Yes. Yeah, it does. And the ego is the reason I suffer. It's the reason I have anxiety. The reason I have fear, worry, stress. Yes. So when we know that, okay, that's great that we know it, that we've discovered that. And it's, again, the ego is not our enemy at all. It's our teacher. And after a while, it's taught us a lot. And that's why it's there, even though it's an illusion. So it teaches us how not to be its slave. That's what it does. In the event that we want that direction, that we desire, we want that direction to master the ego mind through our heart mind, through the now. See, you know this, that the ego mind is yesterday and tomorrow. The heart mind is now. It's a big difference. You can choose ego minds. When you say to yourself, okay, so I'm going to choose ego mind, which is suffering in this life, disappointment, anger, aggression, greed, manipulation, dishonesty, all of that stuff. See? That's ego mind. Now over here is heart mind, peace, prosperity, kindness, forgiveness, love, tranquility, benevolence. Huge difference. Huge difference. And it is up to us. It isn't up to anybody else. It's not up to some guru in a cave in the mountain. It's up to you. You discover this, and then you decide, why would I stay in pain and suffering? There's no reason for it. I've done it, yeah. Am I grateful for it? Absolutely. But I don't really care to be in it anymore. I'm going to go over and I'm going to practice the now. Like we do in these meditations, that's the now. The meditation moves you into the now. You find a comfortable place with no outside distractions. You begin to relax into your body. You're as still as you can be, if possible, a statue. And you focus on your natural breath rising and falling. That is the now. You know why? Because you're not thinking. You're not thinking about anything. There's nothing there in the now for worry, stress, fear, anxiety, doubt. It doesn't exist. And as you do these meditations, you begin to embrace that. You embrace it. Yes, this is great. This is phenomenal. Now, one might say a cynic or a pessimist or something. They might say, well, then you're running away from your problems. No, you're not. You're viewing them, if they are, and all problems are what? Illusions. The reason we have problems is because we create those problems. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean, I'm going to go out and create problems for myself. What it does mean is that we unconsciously or subconsciously focus on something. We're not really in tune with that focus, yet we've created it. And it comes into our lives, and we experience it. That's how it works. But when we remove, knowingly, all the mind chatter, the noise, 60,000 plus thoughts a day, we're in the now. Then we can watch and view the ego mind. You don't judge it, okay? You're watching it, so it's showing you exactly how it operates. It shows you how insecure it is. It shows you how much it wants all the time, never stops, right? It shows you that it's the only one, the only thing that knows right or wrong, good or bad. It's the only, you don't, it does. Defensive thoughts. Protecting oneself. That's ego mind. Then one might say, well, what are you going to do? You have some unruly people come at you and harm your body. Right? And you say to yourself, well, I've got to defend myself or get the heck out of there because I'm not interested in leaving the body right now. That's different. That's different. You're protecting the body. You're not protecting the ego. You protect the body because you'd like to stay in the body and not have it prematurely ended so that you are forced to leave it. Or you could just say, well, okay, so that happens, my body's taken away, but I'm not. And I continue forever. So it's different perspectives. Now, there's a scene that I'm sure a lot of you have watched in the first Star Wars. Okay? And that's when Obi-Wan's an old man, and he's traveling with Luke Skywalker, and he meets his student, his Padawan, Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. And so they start fighting with the lightsabers. Of course, Luke's running, and they're to get to a starship, and so they're running, and then Luke sees Obi-Wan and his father at the time, he didn't know it, fighting with lightsabers. And Obi-Wan says, if you were to strike me down, I will become more powerful than you could ever imagine. And that's the truth. Because you leave the body, you're an omnipotently supreme, powerful, manifesting, abundant being that never dies. I say this a lot because it needs to be said a lot. And it comes in through the heart mind, not the ego mind. The ego mind twists it all up. But through heart-mindedness, this is a profound self-acknowledgement of who and what you are. We leave these bodies, we become omnipotently powerful, beyond imagination, because that's our true state of being. That's what we really are. It's the pure consciousness. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it never ends. Now, one might say, well, there's got to be an ending and a beginning. Well, that's always taught to us as a civilization. There's a beginning and there's an end. With us gods, there is no end. We continue. We create. It's like I've said several times. How do you believe or think that we're able to create these universes? It's because all of us, throughout existence and beyond, are experiencing everything, all of it, constantly. So it's almost as if, okay, well, we created this one universe, and then this one's better. This one's more advanced universe. Because why? Well, because we've experienced more. It's pretty common sense. Why is there a black hole and a white hole? Well, there's a black hole and a white hole, yin and yang, to keep balance within that universe. So things don't get whacked out of the way, just messed up too much. It's like on this planet, what we will witness over the next bit of time will be miraculous. The way we live, the way we exist will be miraculous. Nothing like we've ever seen before. It's almost like this, okay? Everybody on this planet has been in kind of like a gulag, a prison, a petri dish forever. Locked in here. Never can leave. Everything is hallucinated, where we believe there's another side when we leave the body and we meet all of our relatives and we see all this stuff. We carry the body that we left on Earth. Isn't that amazing? Okay, we carry it. We have an image of it as ourselves. Now this tricks us, and seduces us, and then what do? We go right back into incarnation. Some of us, on rare occasion, decide that we aren't going to reincarnate, and we don't. That's a rarity, though, real rarity. There was a spirit who, she was 19 and in physical form. And this was the time of the conquistadors. You know, a lot of things we haven't been told the truth about anyway. But anyway, the conquistadors came from Spain and they invaded the Americas, this continent. At the time, the people, the indigenous population, were pretty much benevolent, not aggressors. I'm sure they hunt for themselves and, you know, they caught food and killed food for themselves to live. But they weren't warring, okay? So the conquistadors came in and just raised havoc. I mean, they raped, they pillaged, they burned. It was just atrocious what they did to these people, these kind, benevolent people. They were not warring people. And so she happened to get impaled by a conquistador's weapon, traumatized her so much that she has not ever reincarnated again. It happens on occasion. No matter what the controllers try to do to get her to reincarnate, she doesn't reincarnate. Period. So what we do is that we experience this prison and its 7 layers of deceit, and we perfect our divine perfection, and eventually we're out of it. After all, it's just one universe. It's connected to endless other universes. I mean, on this planet alone, we have vortexes, and we could walk into another dimensional world, a parallel universe, and not even know it. You might take a second look, because something might be a little different, but everything seems like it was when you woke up that morning. And it's a little different, and then you end up seamlessly moving back into your territory, your existence. But there are so many mesmerizing things that are around, that we have no clue about. And our awareness is with perfecting our divine perfection. I know that sounds strange, but that's what we're doing. We're perfecting our divine perfection. And in doing so, we learn to master the ego mind, it takes a back seat, it finds peace within you, and it is no longer needed. We master our thoughts so that we can direct our thoughts to the universe and manifest anything we choose, almost instantaneously. We can manifest this, see? But you've got to be detailed. You can't be sloppy, okay, or in a hurry, or lackadaisical. You've got to be precise. You do it when? When do you do it? You do it in these meditations, when you're in the now. That's when you do it. When you're in the heart-mind, that's when you do it. And you only do one at a time. One. Not 50. You'd be amazed what happens. You send it, you release it, you send it and release it to the universe, and that's it. You're done with it. But see, if you aren't precise, it comes in, and it isn't exactly what because I forgot to say that, or I forgot to point that out, or to describe that. So it's not, this particular color that I wanted is not the color it is. You see what I mean? Now, it might sound trivial, but heck, if you're going to manifest something into your life that you want, make sure that it is precise. Precise. And it's like how it feels on the touch and the smell, whatever it may be. And all of us are transforming and evolving in a highly accelerated spiritual trek. That's what's happening. That's why people's bodies are acting stranger than they ever have. This is why people feel some waves of anxiety, waves of insecurity, waves of this and that, or euphoria. The reason is because we're so accelerated and we are advancing so quickly. Now, others couldn't advance quickly because they'd blow them up, and so to speak. Not literally, but figuratively. Emotionality-wise, they're just not there yet. Others of us, rough, but yes. And then there's those of us like are cheering and celebrating every moment. This is the process that we're all experiencing. Not all this other stuff. That's kind of like ego-mind stuff going on. It's not heart-minded. Some of it you can tell is being embraced by heart-mindedness. So in the quiet time of this meditation, you're pure. You're divine perfection. And you cannot be harmed. I join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Focus on your breath rising and falling, relaxed into the body. This universe is your playground. You can be whomever you choose to be. There are no rules on who you can or cannot be. So who do you want to be today? What thoughts and beliefs do you most want to have that will make your life in this, or take your life in this new direction? Create an inner map for yourself. Guide that arrives at your ideal future state of mind. Start by exploring what thoughts you like to think about and write them down. What does your favorite teacher or master usually say? Think about or focus on. What will it feel like for others to be around you when you're in this new state of mind? Randomly ask yourself 17 times today, what am I thinking? Is this thought creating who I want to become? Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Saturday, March 8th, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, and tonight, Reverse Aging Health Call and all the rest, after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's happening within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.